Hi, I'm Johnny from ultimatepapermache.com, and this is lesson number 4 in how to make a paper mache cat. In the last lessons, we made the pattern for the inside of the cat to make the armature, and then we padded out the body. And today we're going to work on the face. I thought that we would also have time to work on the ears, toes, and tail today, but the face took me so many hours to do yesterday. I thought that this is probably going to be plenty for lesson number 4. I'm also going to try doing something just a little bit different in this one because the details are a little bit hard to see when we're working on something that ends up all being the same color. There's very little contrast here, and I think it's going to be really hard to watch. I tried taking videos of me actually creating the aluminum foil balls and taping them on here, and it didn't make as much sense as I wanted it to. So I'm going to try to edit this video. We're going to see if this works, and hopefully as I point over here like Jon Stewart does on the Daily Show, there will magically appear a picture, a still picture of the piece that I crumpled up and made out of aluminum foil to put on all these different shapes, and we'll do that in order. Now this, hopefully, is the cat that I'm using as the model for this particular cat. If you're using the pattern that I posted on lesson number 1 out on my blog, this is the cat that we're using for the model, and so I thought that you probably wanted to see her face close up so that you can see where I'm headed and why I'm putting all these pieces in a particular place. Now, also, before we get started on that, I want you to let you know that we're not quite finished yet. What I'll be doing probably between this lesson and the next one is here, let's put it this way. This is a long-haired cat, and right now there's a dip here at the back of her cheek. I'm going to fill that in because it's long-haired. I'm going to fill it in so that it has a nice slope into the apron that she has, nice fluffy apron of hair, and I'm going to pull this back down here further. So this isn't quite done yet, but it's getting really close to getting this face on. Okay, I hope I have her propped up well enough. Now you can see her a little bit better. The fact that she's looking towards the ground actually made it more difficult to add pieces. I had to sit down and hold her in my lap. Now the first piece we're going to add is right here. It's a little strip that goes on each side of that center line, and it's just as wide as the actual nose. So you're going to have 2 pieces, each here on the side. They're just long, skinny rolls of aluminum foil that's crimpled up really tight. The top of that nose is really quite narrow, so you don't want it to go too wide. And this will actually form the top of her nose. The second section goes all the way along the back and comes out this way, so that you end up with a arrow-shaped piece. It's both thicker and wider, if that makes sense, so that you'll end up with the pieces on each side of the nose, or the each side of the nose, right there where the stop is, and this creates that triangular shaped space between the 2 eyebrows. Now the next piece that we're going to do is a ball of aluminum foil. You can use crumpled paper if you prefer. And this ball of aluminum foil fills out the muzzle, the front piece of the muzzle, and it'll snug right up against the nose right here, and it'll come down underneath the nose, and so this actually will finish creating that triangular cat-shaped nose. So we won't have to worry about the nose. It's already going to be automatically added. Now I think it's pretty hard to see, but I also put a very small piece. Let's see if we can pull her up here. That just goes right here for her bottom lip, or jaw, I suppose we could say. Now all these crumpled pieces of aluminum foil, of course, are then taped on very carefully, and You want it to be as solid as you can get it. The next piece here is that goes under the eye. You can see here it's under the eye, so you don't want it to go up too far. It's a very wide, long piece that forms the cheek and the big muscle that goes underneath her ear that makes her jaws go up and down. So this big piece here, between this piece and this piece that we put on already, we're going to end up with a big valley, as you can see here in this photo. And that's the place where we're going to make a ball of aluminum foil and put it right into that spot. Make sure that you look at your reference photos and your own cat to make sure that the eyeballs go in the right place. We don't want them too wide apart. You don't want them too far back in the head. You don't want them too far forward. So you have to do a lot of work just to make sure that you get those in the right space. And then once you have the eyeball on there, which goes probably back this far, then you're going to be putting on the piece that simply fills in that valley. And you want it to be nice and round. There's no big dent, at least in my cat, because she has so much hair. You can't actually see the separation between those two pieces. It's just a big piece that fills it out and creates the top line of her eye. Then you can add smaller pieces for the top eyelash, a little bit to fill in here. You can see in the photo that there's some, I'm getting so many lines on here now you can't really see what I'm doing, but it fills in the space and kind of pulls the pieces together to make a nice transition between the nose and the muzzle. And then you add another small noodle, I guess you can call it, of let's do it on this side, just right here. Whoops, I'm getting a little crooked here. Fortunately, I'm painting this, so I want to see all these lines. But now you have a nicely shaped eye. Now, as I said, I'm running through these photographs pretty fast, but this took me at least 2 hours to get this all put on, starting out basically using the aluminum foil much the way that you would use clay. Put some on, look at it in all directions. If it's enough, then great, move on to the next piece. Probably it isn't enough to fill out these cheeks or fill out the shapes exactly the way you want them, so just add a little bit more aluminum foil and just keep doing that and moving things around until you get it the way you like it. I'll post the photographs of my cat out on my blog, ultimatepapermache.com. You'll look for cat lesson number 4. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll just put a link for it down below so that you can see the face that I was using as my model. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill this in so she actually has a neck. She doesn't have a neck now, like I said. She's going to fill in her bib so that it's in the right shape. She's a very hairy cat, so using up a lot of paper here. And next time we'll go ahead and add those ears. Right now, because it's a long face with no ears breaking it up, it looks really weird. It's like, oh, that can't possibly be right. But I do believe it is. We're going to put those ears on there. We followed the shape of our pattern that we created before, so we know that the outside line of our cat is right. All the way along, so I think it's coming along really well. She's gonna be a pretty paper mache kitty as soon as I get all those silly lines covered up. So I'll see you next time. In the next couple of days, I'll put up the next video and we can finish up those toes, ears, and tail. I hope to see you then. ultimatepapermache.com. Bye bye. We'll see you then.